Problems with the fans of Sharp air conditioning units are generally identified through the fan motor speed sensor, known as the Hall effect sensor. When the problem occurs with the indoor unit fan, the error code H6 is usually generated for BLDC type fans. These fans can be identified as they are powered directly by 5 wires. However, when the problem is located in the outdoor unit fan, and it is of the BLDC type, the code L3 is generated. This type of fan is powered directly from the external electronic module through 3 wires. General troubleshooting for fans. 1. Clean the air filter and the heat exchangers of the indoor or outdoor unit, according to the error code. 2. Disconnect the equipment from the power for several minutes. Sometimes a simple reset can clear the error code. 3. If the fan motor is dirty, it may not be able to spin properly. 4. If the power cable is loose or damaged, it should be repaired or replaced. If the electrical connections are faulty, they should be cleaned or repaired. 5. If, with the equipment turned off, the fan cannot be freely rotated by hand without noise, the fault may be located in the fan bearings. Now, we will look at more specialized solutions for BLDC fan problems in Sharp air conditioning units. A. The BLDC fan can be used in both the indoor evaporator unit and the outdoor condenser unit. B. The indoor unit BLDC fan uses 5 wires, as the power supply to the motor coils is done within the casing via an independent internal electronic board. C. These 5 wires are generally identified by specific colors. Red, high voltage DC power supply, approximately 300 V when the mains power is 220 V. Black, ground or common for the entire electronic board. White, power supply to the internal electronic controller of the BLDC fan, usually powered with 15 V. Yellow, signal or pulses from the main board controller to control the internal motor board of the BLDC. Blue, signal from the BLDC motor to the main electronic board to indicate the speed and position of the BLDC motor rotor. D. You can check for the presence of the power supply voltage with the board energized by placing the multimeter probes on the corresponding wires. Testing procedures. 1. Disconnect the equipment from the power and visually inspect the condition of the BLDC motor connector for loose contacts. Clean the connector and then test the equipment again. 2. Without power, disconnect the BLDC fan from the indoor unit and perform an initial check to see if the fan's internal controller is short-circuited. Using a multimeter on the electrical resistance scale in kiloohms, measure the resistance between the high voltage power pin, red wire, and the high voltage ground pin, black wire. The resistance should be infinite, indicating a correct result. 3. On the continuity scale, there should be no continuity between the black wire and any of the other remaining wires. 4. If all the previous tests are passed, it is recommended to check for obstructions and ensure the motor spins freely when disconnected to rule out mechanical issues. 5. You can remove the fan motor, open its casing, and check if the power supply is effectively reaching the inside of the motor. Visually inspect the internal electronic board of the BLDC motor for anomalies and verify the continuity of all wires from the fan connector to the entry of the motor's electronic board. 6. Checking for problems in the electronic board. Measure electrical resistance with the multimeter from the high voltage power supply, red wire, to each of the outputs to the motor coils. All measurements should be the same. This procedure should be done with the red multimeter probe on the red wire of the fan and the black probe on each output of the internal BLDC fan board, then the same procedure with the multimeter probes reversed. If any measurement shows different values, the control board may have problems. 7. When problems are detected in the internal electronic board of the BLDC motor, focus on the IPM controller on the board, which can be replaced with one of the same reference. If no electronic issues are observed, then disconnect the electronic board from the coils and measure the electrical resistance of these three. 8. When, according to the error code, the problem is located in the motor of the outdoor unit, the fan's electronic control is not inside the motor casing, but on the same external electronic board, which is why the fan is powered through only 3 wires.